Hello everybody, my name is Spungus, creator of CDarchive, and I decided to make what could have been two. So this one will cover the canceled books, the game, a couple animations I found, this is actually one of them right here, and some old shirt designs. I wasn't really sure what else to add, because like, the movie is going to be a couple years away at this point. And I know the poll one with, people wanting it after the movie, but I'm doing this anyway, and I'll do a movie one way later on. It'll probably be a lot longer. But I figured I could do this one pretty quickly. And I'd like to preface by saying if you have not seen the original series or what could have been one, please watch those. Because I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff from those that you will not understand if you haven't seen them. I'll put a little card in the right, top right there. Anyway, first off I want to start with this animation I found. I was going through my old studio files and I found a random one called Anim. And I just clicked on it and it's apparently father killing cassette guy. I don't remember this being a thing. It's really poorly animated, as you can see. Probably one of my worst ones I've made. But yeah, there's that. What I was looking for was, I have a couple pictures I think I posted of it. It was this little grassy area with a bunch of players, like souls that got spawned in with a father killing them all. I want to find that. I found this. I don't think this is it. It has the button. Wait. Hold on. Is this one? I think it... No. Okay, so this is the map that didn't get saved. The whole area here from the second video did not get saved, which is unfortunate because it's probably my favorite thing I made in the series, and I didn't back up my stuff well enough. This was like a scaling guy, not Mr. Scale unfortunately, but close enough. Ah, found it. Planet Anims is what it's called. So, okay, yeah, I actually do have the stuff from it. I think I recorded the original parts to it, but yeah, okay, what I did, I called it Jacob Links for some reason. It's kind of funny. So there's people like spawning in, doing shit. Okay, wait, let me zoom in on this guy. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. He spawns in. A little glitchy. Oh, he's in the ground. Oh right, there's like picking up bricks and like moving around shit. I recorded that part already a while ago. I don't know where the recording is though. Let's see what else is there. Jacob Links 2. Just a little lad walking by. Someone else spawning in. Okay, I see. So I think the main thing here was just to show what life was like inside the disc before, Father got there and killed everyone. Then next there's this little guy who's trying to build stuff. I guess I just didn't finish up with it because it took a really long time to make this. But yeah, that was the main thing I want to show for like this stuff. This is kind of thrown in last minute because I wanted to show off the book and the other stuff. The scrap game first, but it was like small enough for me to put. Alright, so here is, let me go to the grass area here. There's all the areas outside the map. I'm missing a couple, like the soggy version of the grass plain and the version with like a little water well, that's the water one. Anyway, last time I checked on this, the textures kept disappearing for some reason, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen again, but basically, the whole premise of this game was that every character would be connected. It'd be like LSD Simulator. I shared some plans for it. Let me go find those. Okay, well I didn't find it, but I found something similar. I found a concept for an LCD Simulator game where you have moods that actually affect the things you see, which is pretty cool. I kind of want to go back to that at some point. I also found these concepts for how you'd fast travel areas. It's also unrelated. I also found some old in development pictures, actually. I'd like to show this. I made it like a Nintendo Direct kind of thing, but this was made in 2024, as you can see, late 2024. This was before... Spungus made this tiki. This was like to help me plan out the next video. This was the only planning I really had for Act 1. Here was the finale thing, the one that got scrapped, and here's the same picture, but with like some changes of like which ones I've done already. I only did one of these. I guess while I'm here I might as well show off these short concepts. Here's the first one. It was Jacob with the stoneman chasing him with Father in the background. It looked kind of shit, that's why I didn't make a shirt out of it or anything, and I also couldn't really make anything with it yet. Here is a map for, I think the Stoneman video. I don't think I ever showed this one off, but it's still funny to see. There's the cassette guy. Here's one of the pictures I used for the like spectrograms in Act 1. I don't think I ever showed these off either. There's a bunch of stuff like that. I have a whole folder of these old things. Let's see if I can find another one. Oh, here's a planning for the final episode. It's not a lot better in my head. Here's another one of the spectrogram pictures, along with this one, I believe. I don't remember this actually. This is interesting. I really don't remember this at all. there's another variant of it. Oh, it's the colored variant without the dithering. So another thing with a bunch of codes. This probably has to do with the weird vessel thing I was talking about in Act 1 that I never picked back up on. Oh yeah, this was the main shirt design I actually still kind of want to go with. I think I uploaded it onto Roblox's shirt, but yeah, this one's still cool. It just says archive in Japanese. Pretty cool. Alright, well the only place I was able to find the images was on fucking Twitter. Someone sent them to me a while ago because they're trying to recreate the game. I highly recommend that, by the way. I'll link that game in the description. It's pretty cool. It's not exactly the same as my game idea, but it's pretty close. So basically, here was the main map for the game. There was going to be the start area, which was just the grass plain. There was going to be all the areas were connected was the main idea. It was going to be like LSU Gym Emulator, where like there's a lot of everyone's connected except for their small like sub areas. They're going to be these were the sub areas, and they would have special like quirks and stuff to them. These little doors marked. There's like how to get to places. There's some areas I never actually showed off in Act 2. I think I showed them in what could have been, of course, like the island. But yeah, and then something interesting here is that the city is connected to the Yellow Town because of like when he falls off. But it's also connected to the snow area. So the main thing with that is there was like a giant hello Gunhead. There was like a giant building you could go through that like had 2 staircases. I think it showed it in the trailer, and no one really questioned it. I guess it was kind of funny. But yeah, then the mall was gonna lead to sub levels. Kind of like it was kind of gonna be like a backrooms-esque game where you kind of go through different levels and there's like progression of some sort. Also, this chart of random events. So upon returning to the grass plain, there would be a small chance you'd end up in one of the sub levels, which was the soggy or dry plain, which are the names for the water area and the one with the water drained out, respectively. There was Father, who could appear in your peripheral, who could either fly at you or disappear, and he's a higher chance to appear in Darkholme, the Yellow Desert, and the Waterlogged Home. Those are the places he's seen the most in the series. For the Yellow Desert, he's not really seen there. He's going to be later on, though. Jacob, someone's exploring for too long. Jacob will spawn at sight and slowly gain speed, bolting straight for the player. If he connects, it sends the player to the grass plain, and he has a high chance to appear in his house, of course, and the snow plain. That's where he was shown in the first time in the video. I also like to clarify this is the Jacob with no head, and the leopard in his back, because he's like the hostile one controlled by Father. Oh, also, I feel like I didn't say this yet, but the whole premise of this game was that it would take place after Lucas dealt with Father at the ending of Act 2, and this would be his memories when he's in the entity. Possession of the entity. Next up is the Axe Bearer. So while visiting the Stoneman Place or Darkholme, there's a very high chance for the Axe Bearer to appear and chase the player. It's quite slow and easily escapable. Will send you either back to the grass plain or a specific locked-off area of Darkholme if it managed to hit you. I had an idea of an area in Darkholme as a little prison. Next is a Mind. When entering a door, there's an extremely small chance you'll be sent to a small room with a pulsating brain with extremely loud heartbeat sound, and you'll be kicked shortly from the game after. This was the Mind entity, of course, but before I actually had a proper design for it, I kind of just wanted to show it as a brain. And then there are corpses, which would be Yellow Town corpses that would spawn in and kind of like walk and crawl around the desert or Yellow Town. It's kind of just like a little, I guess, ambient sort of thing. Like they don't really do anything, they're just there because it shows there's still life there, I guess. Another thing I didn't write down was that I wanted there to be a thing where if you walk too far off like the main area, like for example in, like over to Yellow Desert here. The Yellow Desert, for example, it's pretty big right here, right? So the main idea was if you went off to the sides over here too far, the fog around you would turn completely black and like zoom in really close, and you'd have a picture on the screen with like a brain with a little disconnect that said like disconnect imminent or something like that, and you had to go back to the main area. It just have invisible walls so you couldn't go past, and just toggle that, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the first area because I didn't really show it off yet. So here is the grass plain. There wasn't really much to do in this game. It was mostly just like exploration, but the photo's gone. I don't know why. I think that was probably intentional. It's a photo kind of shit. There's the guy in the wall. Trampoline and everything. You would have to probably do the same thing in the series where you get one of the blocks and push it over here. However, the jump height is kind of fucked over. I'm not used to the new Studio UI. If I fumble around in it, that's my bad. I had music. Okay, I don't remember adding ambience or sounds or anything, but yeah, anyway, if you have your jumping too short, you can kind of just like tweak it out and get up anyway. I had to avoid that in the series. And I recreated I kept a small section from a pre-existing thing here. The characters the areas don't connect, so I don't really have a reason to keep going in this mode, but yeah, this is the area where you go into the elevator. I didn't end up finishing this, pretty obviously it got scrapped, but the main concept was, yeah, it's the LC Gym Emulator. So basically, I'll show how all areas connect now. So this was gonna be the elevator thing, which didn't get made, but it would lead to. There's also this, which leads to Darkholme. The elevator would lead to. I think it was also just a lead to either Darkholme or Stoneman. I don't know why I didn't do anything else with that, because I'm pretty sure the elevator led to Darkholme in the original series. And then there's this little pathway over here that leads to the snow area. As you can see, there is a very big wall here. So this is where you'd enter from the grass plain. The house is here, and there's a couple extra things. There's like a little key here, which I think I used as a teaser. Yeah, I remember. I think I was watching an Oni Plays video when I made this. I just remembered that randomly. Yeah, I was trying to make like extended cut versions of each area though, basically. So this key was supposed to be the one that was going to be in the finale originally. Did I make that key, or is it a free model? It's a free model, okay. I avoid using this as much as possible. Is this bench one as well? I think so, fuck. I was trying to avoid them as much as possible with Act 2, but I must have just done that because I was lazy. Also, ignore the stud roofs and stuff. That's from the base plate, and you don't even see that in-game because there's fog anyway. Speaking of fog, let me enable that. Oh yeah, I have stuff for each area. Lighting. I don't know why I opened it. Let's log in. It would be like 30 or 50 probably. So this is what you'd actually see in-game. And then next... That's probably why it was on like 50 million. Next up is, if you enter the building, it would take you to this little thing right here. I don't know which way was the entrance from the city building with the snow area, but you'd come in here, you either go across, which leads to the docks, or go up, which leads to the skyline. I think, is this the docks or is this the skyline? That's Darkholme. Okay, that's neither. The skyline is right here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go to that. So you would end up in the usual spot, and of course in game you wouldn't be able to actually see the stuff out there. The sky would also change to the one from the actual series. This sky is here just because the mall area uses it. There's a clear version of the mall, and there's also a Yellowtown version of the mall. But basically, this is still pretty much the same. This would lead to the memory room, of course. But if you fell, you'd end up... Also notice I removed the stud texture because it looked like shit. You'd end up in the yellow desert. I was going to add like bodies and stuff, that's why there would be like the guys that kind of wander around. And if you travel far enough, you find Yellowtown. I think I was going to get rid of this area because this was from the scrap finale. Or Act 1. It looks cool still. I think I used footage of it for the trailer for the game. But yeah, this is pretty much the same. There's not really any changes. The mall you could enter though. So if you went to the mall, I also changed the thing to actually say mall instead of, I'm pretty sure it was a fucking code before, of course. Ignore the weird lopsidedness, it's just because that doesn't really show up anywhere, so it doesn't matter. The mall is right here. There's going to be the normal version, the yellow version of it, but it has just the whole area. I think I removed all the codes, except for... Oh no, I removed all the Japanese text, that's what it was. I kept some of the codes though, because I thought were funny, or I think I added some, maybe, I can't remember. Yeah, there's not really anything to do here. I wonder if the Stoneman's still here, actually. I just remembered. I just imported these straight up, so... Or is that the Yellowtown version of it that had the Stoneman up here? I can't remember. It's been 2 years. Almost. It'll be 2 years. Hey, CDarchive's second anniversary is in like a month. That's kind of crazy. What else was I going to show? Oh, right. The docks and the ocean. That was the last part I worked on before I scrapped this. I think I just went in a little loop for no reason. Yeah, it's right here. Basically, you would start out here from the skyline area. This is pretty much unchanged from the series. Still got the island. This is the little island. I originally showed it off in the what could have been stream. I probably want to get rid of this back area, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, if you fell, you'd end up in the area from Migraine, because that's how it works in the original series. I think it's about the same here. I just added more chains and stuff, and anchors and whatnot. I was going to make the chains actually extend upward more, but I was so tired of working on this by then, and then there was going to be a little spot where you could fall off and just end up in Darkholme or something. You know, I was so done with working on this by then. I was just like, dude, I can't just keep extending areas. I'm not even gonna finish making this game anyway. I was gonna show off Darkholme. It's pretty much the exact same as the series would have been, except back here would have been where you would be locked if you got hit by a stoneman. It's got little dudes hanging up in the park area. That's based off Jacob's memories and whatnot. The terminal would have actually been usable in game to open up this, which would lead down here, which would lead to Father's Remains, which I didn't end up making. I just removed him from the the thing there. I was gonna add like broken glass and like goop everywhere. A little bit of goop. I think that's about No, wait, there's the memory room still and the Jacob's house. I literally just imported Jacob's house and removed the SpongeBob picture from the TV. It's gone. SpongeGate test is gone. Something funny is that no one really points out SpongeGate test being there. It's like, oh, it's SpongeBob. It's just some like random video that was an inside joke in RWD in 2024, back when you know, it was fun. I don't know. I preferred it back then than the community is now. A lot tighter knit and stuff, and I would sneak in little jokes to stuff that people would send. And someone asked me, please put in SpongeGate test, like, you gotta put in SpongeGate's test. So I did, and I thought it was funny. And then looking back, it's kind of shitty now, because like, you know, it's a joke thing. Oh, I didn't know there's a little crack right here. Huh? My shitty old building. And then the last thing I have to show off is the memory room. This is still by far my favorite area I made. It's based on the Cave of the Past from Earthbound. I think I mentioned that before. Cave of the Past slash... I think that's the name of it, right? Cave of the Past, is that the area where you fight Gygus? Whatever. Anyway, it was based on that, as you can kind of see from the formations. I was going to extend it a little bit further, maybe, and have more entrances and exits. It's got little flowers. It's got a lot of stuff from the series. I don't remember really exactly what the whole point of this area was. I just remember it was like Father could spy on people's, you know, files, but I don't know if there's any... I don't remember if there's any purpose for anything else in it. I think it was just because it looked cool. But yeah, that's the CDarchive game that was scrapped. Yeah, it really didn't get that far into development. It was mostly just importing areas that took the longest and extending them a little bit, and then I just planned a bunch of stuff out that never got into the game, obviously. Yeah, that's what could have been for this game. I am actually considering if someone would be willing to work with me on this and like recreate areas and like fix out all the shit that I want fixed, because I can't really use Studio anymore. I'm like an old fucking man when it comes to this thing now. I'm like tech illiterate when it comes to Studio now. But if someone would like to work alongside me and help make this and like have like the passion for it, I would be down to make that happen. I put on the Jacob's Memorial group because that's where this was tied to originally. I think that'd be really cool if there's like an actual official one, because then people could play through the areas and not play these a lot of like the clone ones people make. Because as cool as those are, like I feel like the original areas would be the coolest to go through, because like it's obviously the original CDarchive thing. Like it's the ones that I made for the series. So yeah, hit me up if you want to work on this. I would be down for that. Anyway, on to the next part. We're going to be showing off the novels. So there were two ideas. So the first one was a Detective Nora kind of one, and the second one was just like I want to make a book so I can make the movie, basically. So I'm gonna go over the novel draft first, because it's mostly a bunch of random scrambled ideas before I realize I'm just gonna make a movie out of this. That's like better. So I'm gonna read through both of these and like put some input on some of the parts, because I remember it was kind of poorly written. That's probably why I scrapped them. Anyways, here's the second one. So I made this one first, then I made this one second, but this one's shorter, so I'm gonna go over it first. When he opened his eyes, he found he was no longer at home in his bed. He was lying in a field of grass, the blades brushing against his bare arms. All he could see ahead of him was thick, light gray fog, and his body was damp and frigid. He slowly got up and was terrified as he could barely see a foot in front of him in the fog. It's kind of shitty writing. See twice, why would I do that? Anyway, Jacob ran forward, looking for any sign of safety, only to be met with more flat grass and fog. He began breathing fast, able to see clouds of his own panicked breath in front of him. Eventually, a structure emerged from the fog, and he cautiously walked up to it. It was a small, dinky square house made of brick with a dull red slated roof, 3 frost-slated windows lining the front. He slowly opened the door. Inside, it was covered in an ugly, dusty, discolored carpet that seemed almost like it used to be blue, only it was too grimy to tell. An old red couch sat in the corner and a small table was next to it, but besides the 2 objects, it was completely empty. As you can tell, the house was meant to be different from the series. It was meant to actually be like a proper building, not a Roblox default. As he sat down on the couch, it reminded him of his childhood. He had wanted his house when he was young, almost the exact same as the one he was sitting in now, albeit a lot less run down. The faded red cushions felt rough and hard, but they still gave him a bit of comfort in the situation regardless. He looked out the window next to him and saw a few thin and sickly trees, their branches outstretched in the fog, clinging to a few small green leaves. The leaves pulled on the branches, praying for freedom, but failed. Suddenly, the muffled sound of tapping on glass startled Jacob. He crumpled into a ball, crunching himself as far into the cushions as he could, before mustering up the courage to find the source of the noise. He launched off the couch and checked the windows next to him, and the sound stopped. Nothing. Flinging open the door, he ran around the house, checking for what the noise was, but found nothing. Suddenly the noise started again, and he found himself back in his own room. The fog and grass were gone. He couldn't fall asleep, only thinking about if what he saw was real until the late hours of the night. This part is kind of just a break between. This is gonna be its own like paragraph. This kind of like. I just don't like the way I wrote this at all. It's kind of shittily written. I'm sure there's people out there who think like, oh, that sounds really cool, but in my opinion, this is awful. The movie is nothing like this. Actually, I haven't drafted the movie on. I didn't close that shit. Yeah, so this part was a break between. This was supposed to be its own like part, and then this would be the next like way later on. But anyway, a large dome of glass emerged from the fog, along with a figure inside of it. The figure's head looked identical to the dome, and it was wearing a faded red vest with a tattered white button down underneath. Its pants were a matching crimson to its vest. The figure had its hands against the sides of the dome, its pale white fingers tapping the glass. Its fingers were quite long, too, tapering down in size from the base to the top, and the fingertips ended like a narrow, sharp spikes. "Jacob, is that you?" it said in an echoing voice. So this was back when Father was, like, perceived as the guy with a vest and pants on. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I used to draw him, like, instead of making, like, a cool, like, demon entity, I used to draw him like a fucking, like, Tumblr sexy man on accident, because I thought it would look cool, you know? Then I realized it's kind of shit, so this was the movie Father's idea. It was kind of like, I don't know, I just drew shoulder pads. He's gonna look like, I don't know why I made him kind of big, but whatever. Fuck, okay. Ignore that. Basically, talking like a fucking Roblox character again, but I don't care. I can't draw with a mouse very well. Basically, his outfit was gonna be like this. Like the stupid, like, butler vest things. Because I thought it would look cool, because, you know, he has the white arms, he's got, like, the everything else. And then I decided more recently, like, why is it not just his skin? Like, he should have a cool robe with, like, skin being the white part. But yeah, no, the original idea was like this. Oh, shit. The original idea for the movie design was like this. Ignore how silly it's drawn, but yeah, and he's gonna have, like, I think he's gonna have horns. This is what movie Father would, or not movie, sorry, book Father would have looked like, which is fucking awful. Yeah, so that's all it is for that one. That draft was terrible. I see why I gave up on it now. Next up is the Detective Nora one, which I started writing, then I realized I don't really have what it takes to write something like this, of this caliber, and I don't know how to write, like, a detective thing in the first place, or, like, suspense or mystery. But I'm gonna read it anyway. The man unhooked the mask from the hat stand where it rested, glancing at the X shape etched on his face. Its colors were becoming dull, and the paint had been scratched off the edges. He slowly pulled the string taut across the back of his cloth-covered head, concealing the rest of his face. Next came his hat, placed atop his head, one he had worn for a long time. He shuffled and straightened his jacket. It was another chilly morning in the city, and the office wasn't any warmer. "Hey, Lucas?" The man glanced aside at his associate, a young man in his early 20s or so. Lucas had taken him under his wing to train him, as he was new to the city and the detective agency as a whole. "What's with the mask anyway?" Lucas solemnly looked down. "I wear..." Holy shit, voice crack. "I wear it to honor a friend. I'd rather not talk about it." He pulled the door open, the small bells on it jingling as he stepped out. A light layer of snow covered the empty streets, the sunshine of dawn slowly spreading out across the skyline. He trudged out onto the cold street, turning the corner and continuing down on his way to the crime scene he was sent to investigate. When Lucas arrived, the body was miraculously gone, and the only thing that sat in the pool of blood on the floor was a revolver with its barrel emptied. It stuck out like a sickly blemish on fair skin and made Lucas feel sick to his stomach. 2 weeks ago, he found his roommate in the exact same way. It was declared a suicide, but to Lucas's knowledge, there was never been a gun in the apartment or any ammunition. His associate stepped in behind him, breaking the thought. "Did they already take the body?" "Must have," Lucas muttered, his brow furrowing under the mask. "Bodies don't just disappear like this, especially not from a suicide." The detective paced around the apartment, scouring everything for evidence, as his associate trailed. Lucas stopped once more on the scene of the crime. His associate toyed with the zipper on his jacket nervously, standing a few feet behind the detective. "Do you think this has to do with the demon there's been word about?" he mumbled nervously. "Don't be ridiculous," Lucas scoffed. "The demon nonsense is a bunch of bullshit anyway. Just spread around to make people uneasy and distract from the real problems." He couldn't help but believe the rumors himself, however. How could 2 suicides be nearly identical in such a short window of time? Later that evening, the detective sat alone in his apartment, trying to clear his mind of the crime scene. He could hear something shuffling around the room next to him, voices he had never heard before. A loud bang, and then there was silence. He slowly shifted his weight forward, halting for a moment to consider if he should proceed, then stood up. He quickly paced towards the door. He fiddled with the lock to his neighbor's place and broke in. The room was completely empty, except for the shimmer of blood on the silver revolver on the floor. A shrill scream pierced his eardrums. Lucas ran out into the hall, looking left and right before seeing it. It looked like a melted, bloody corpse, a mass of skin stretching and contorting to stay together with a massive hole through its head, and a third arm protruding from its torso. It spoke in a raspy voice, repeating the same few words over and over and over, each time weaker than the last. Something about a man with a head of glass. The detective ran into his room to fish out a pistol, then ran back into the hall, which began to rapidly age, appearing as if it had been abandoned for years. The detective shot a few rounds, and the bullet sunk into the fleshy mass before it reached out for him with its third arm and consumed him. The detective woke up in his armchair, sweat pooling in his mask. The phone on his wall was ringing, and before he could reach it, it stopped. Seconds later, it started again. He tore it off the wall and put it to his ear. So that was the draft for this, like, detective thing. I don't really like the pacing of it. It could have been a short story, if anything. But the whole premise was that father was, like, playing Russian roulette with people and shit. I don't know why. That was, like, my main idea, but basically he would do that, and then if he'd, like, discuss things with them, and then he'd play Russian roulette with them. And if they died, he would incorporate them as, like, an army of creatures he was using to take over the city for some reason. I didn't really make any, like, reasons for his motives or anything. I was kind of just writing this as I went. Like, I had some small ideas to base it off of, but that's kind of all it really had, was just, like, ideas. I do kind of like this one more than the other concepts writing, but once again, the movie absolutely fucking mogs this. This could have been cool if I knew what I was doing, and if I continued with it, but the whole idea was it would have like a little book that would kind of just be like a tie-in for an alternate universe, I guess, for the series. Like, I don't really know how to explain it, but that was the whole premise. I have a couple drawings for it. I don't know where they went. They're in an old sketchbook of mine. I wish I could show them off here, but I have no idea where this are, and I'm not going to go look for them. But basically, the main drawings were just Lucas in a like, detective outfit. Anyways, I think that just about wraps up everything. Thank you guys for watching, and just remember to create the things you love and follow your passions. I said this last time, I had a whole speech about it last time, but I really mean it. Just do what you love. That is your luxury. I think Tyler the Creator fucking said that. I stole that shit. Anyways, see you all, and I will share stuff for the movie when that's, the time comes. It's been pretty slow so far, but have a great day, or great night, or great morning, whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you. Okay, hi, little addendum. I forgot I want to show off some small clips from the Making of Purpose of Drowning in Past. I think this clip is really funny and I meant to put it in its own video. But I have this. I really like that clip, I need to show it off. And there's also the original recording for this, I think. It is very... I know this is different. I'm gonna get fucking copyright claim for that song. I'm gonna fucking be dead in the post. But yeah, that's all I want to show off. Alright, see ya.